morning, everyone. My name is Carla, and you've reached my FlossTube channel, Carla Being Crafty, where I talk about mostly cross stitch, but also other crafts that I enjoy, and a little bit of life thrown in. I'm looking down because I got a kitty right down there who was on my lap 3 seconds ago, but then decided that he didn't want to be still and sit here for a minute for my intro. So if you hear him meow, that is why. So welcome. If this is your first time finding my channel, I want to say welcome and thank you for stopping by. I hope you like what you see. You want to hit like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And if this is not your first time finding my channel, if you are one of my viewers who is here every week, then thank you so much for coming back. And you add so much to my life, and I have to give a big thank you to you. This is FlossTube number 214, and it is the first FlossTube in November for this year. It is November 5th, and forgive if it's dark again. My light decided to work, and it was working until right when I started the video, and then it popped off again. So I do have a new ring light. I just haven't set it up. Yeah, you know, I have to crawl behind things to plug it in, and yeah, so it's sitting there in its box waiting. So we'll just have to deal with a little bit darker on this side than it should be, I guess. The weather here in Southern California, it can't decide if it wants to be fall yet or not. I mean, we're already in November, right? We're on the way to winter, and it still hasn't decided if it wants to be fall. The 80s are still hanging around in the afternoon. As I've said, the nighttime temperatures are getting lower, so that's good for overall keeping like my apartment cool and stuff, and I don't have to have my air conditioning on at night now. I just have my little fan going, so that is good overall. But yeah, it's still kind of warm in the afternoons. It's been getting up into the mid 80s. I think next week it's going to just kiss the 80s. It's supposed to be high 70s, so we'll see if that sticks around or if it decides to pop back up to 85 on Thanksgiving or something, which it has done frequently. I remember, I don't know if I told this story or not. If I did, forgive me. I may have said it 2 weeks ago. But when my mom was still alive, my brother and I were still living with her in our house in Huntington Beach, I used to love doing Thanksgiving, and we had a fireplace, and I loved putting a log in the fireplace when it was cooler, and I would start to want to do that in the fall. And I remember one Thanksgiving, I was wearing my cute little Thanksgiving outfit. We had some people coming over, and it was kind of like a long sleeve. It was like a little knit suit. I mean, it was like a short skirt and then a long sleeve knit little jackety thing. So cute, so perfect for fall. And we had a fire going in the fireplace because it was just all that ambiance, and it was boiling. It was like all the windows and open and everything because I wanted that fire for the ambiance, but it was too hot. It was funny. So yeah, that's how it goes for me. Is I'm desperate for that crisp, cool weather, and it just doesn't really want to come. Today is D&D day, so I have to make sure that I get my video done and at least started uploading fast, because my brother is going to be checking in with me in like 2 hours for me to game with him and Logan. And although I did get to sleep in an hour today because daylight savings time, so that I totally forgot about it, so that was nice. So forgive me if I try and rush. I mean, nothing's going to change, but in my mind, I'm rushing through the video so that I can be all ready for D&D. And that epic battle that I told you about last time, we only got like very small amount through it. It was like, yeah. So the monsters kept coming, and they're going to keep coming. And I was all prepared to like do battle with the monsters. Well, I ended up not as far as that goes, because my character, who's the cleric, spent most of my turns running around and healing people because the monsters were kicking everybody else's butt. So yeah, so that will probably be the fate of my character today, is also running around and healing people, which, you know, is what I'm supposed to do. So, last week we had a Zoom. It was great. We had a lot of, I thought, of course, I've told you, I thought nobody was going to show up, you know, because it's, I don't think anybody jumped on until like maybe 3 minutes after 3. And then we had a bunch of people. So it was really nice to see everybody. Yeah, totally enjoyed it. I'm going to schedule the next Zoom for, I said I wasn't going to do it Thanksgiving weekend, but I started thinking about it, and actually it's going to be the best time to do it. So I'm going to do it on the Sunday of Thanksgiving weekend, which is November 26th. I think I'll do it at 3 o'clock again. And I will have all the information in the description box, but not until Monday or Tuesday. So if you look down there, I'll have the date, but I won't have the login and everything yet until I actually set that up, which I don't think is going to happen today. So what else? I'm a little bit proud of myself, I have to say. I did a couple like alone things this week, which I haven't done in a really long time. And I'm a little bit proud of myself. So during the week, I was having a craving for a specific type of food, sushi, if you must know. And I came home and I'm like, well, I guess I could DoorDash. And I looked on DoorDash and everything, and it's just so expensive to do DoorDash as a single person. I mean, it's expensive for anybody, but I mean, cost effective wise, it's ridiculous, because, you know, you pay the same delivery fee regardless of whether you're getting food for 20 people or for one person. And they jack up the prices of the food. So it was like, for me to get a small amount of sushi to satisfy my craving was going to be like really, really expensive. And I'm like, this is dumb. There's a really good sushi restaurant a block from me. I should just go and pay, you know, a third of what I would pay to have something not even comparable delivered. So I went ahead and I went myself, and I brought a book and I ate a roll of sushi. I actually got too much food. I need to know. I need to learn this, because you can't really bring sushi home. And I got sushi and I got a tempura appetizer, and it was really too much. So next time I do that, just one roll of sushi will suffice for my appetite. But yeah, so I did that by myself with a book, and I enjoyed it. And I have to learn to do things like that a little bit more often. And then yesterday, again, I was sitting here and I started thinking about it, and I'm like, you know, I haven't been to the movies. And this is true. I haven't been to the movies since well before the pandemic. I think the last time I went to the movies, I took my mom. And so I thought about it. There was, you know, there's nothing really I was craving to see. The two movies that I wanted to see are both older movies. So I wasn't able to go to the movie theater that's right by me, but I went to go see a movie yesterday by myself. There was 6 people in the theater. You know, it was like there was nobody in there, so I didn't feel like worried about crowds or health things because of crowds. And I just went and took myself to a movie, and I enjoyed it. And I realized it's not something I need to do all the time anymore. The big screen experience is fun, but you know, but I was glad that I did it myself. And I also have to say, this week I had a couple, like yesterday, after I went to the movies, I stopped at the grocery store. Well, actually I stopped at Trader Joe's, because I love Trader Joe's, but there's not one near me. So there was one right by the movie theater. So I went ahead and took that opportunity to go in and get just a few things. They have a chili onion crunch thing in a jar that, it's so good. If you like spicy, it's just really good on top of anything. But 2 different people stopped me to compliment my hair, which made me feel good. And then last week, I was driving home from work. It was early, so it was my early day, so it was probably around 4 o'clock or something. And I was driving, and because it's freaking hot in the afternoons, I was driving with my window open, and I was stopped at a stoplight, and all of a sudden I started, hey, and I look over, and there's this young man. And I say he was young. I had to be in his 20s. And he was, you know, a cute young man. And he's like, hi. He goes, I love your hair. It's so pretty. I'm like, thank you so much. And then he's like, what's your name? And I said, my name's Carla. He's like, oh, I'm Sergio. And I'm like, hi, Sergio. And he's like, hey, can I get your number? And I started laughing, right? We're still stopped at this stuff. But I'm like, Sergio, I'm old enough to be your grandma. I don't think so. He's like, no. And I'm like, yeah. And then, of course, the light changed and I went. But I have to say that little encounter, you know, it made my day. It made me feel really good. So, yeah. I mean, it's nice to have somebody flirt with you sometimes, even if it's ridiculous. But anyway, so that was basically my week. It was super busy at work again, which, you know, it makes me tired, and the weather changing makes me tired. So I spend all my time being tired, but that's okay. That's pretty par for the course. As far as all the whips I have to show you today, I'm sorry, I feel like I'm a little bit scattery today, so if I'm jumping around and sound scattery to you, please forgive that. It's just my mood today, I guess. All I have is stitching. I didn't do any other crafts this week, but I do have quite a few things to show you. So last week I showed you this little SAF or SAF or start and finish, whatever. I showed this to you last week, and I had so much fun doing that I did another one. Now I did a slightly bigger one. This was sort of like for Halloween, right? I got my little Halloween stitch in, but this one is for November for the Turkey Day. So you can see that they're slightly different in size. This one's bigger, but I did the same treatment. Basically, I had a scrap of fabric, did my little stitch, and then put it in the mini hoop and used Stickles glitter glue to kind of make sort of the jeweled thing on the outside. Totally fun. And I love having a start and finish because you feel like you really accomplished something. So, for those of you that have never worked with those mini hoops, they are fun. Let's see if I have one down here. Hold on. Okay. Well, this is a different shape, but it still gives you the idea. So when you get these, and I got these from Amazon a long time ago. I got like a set of different shapes and sizes. These I actually got when I first started stitching. I got, I think, 2 packages. They were on sale from Joann's or something. 2 packages of 2 of these size, but they're all pretty much the same. They'll come with your little screw and nut, and then 3 pieces. So you've got your hoop, you've got your inside piece, and then you've got your outside piece. So basically, you do your stitching, you wrap your fabric around the inside piece and put it in the hoop, and then use the screw and the nut to make it tight so it holds your fabric. And then you take the outside piece and just glue it to the back to cover everything. And as I said, you can get like a set of these on Amazon, all different sizes and shapes. So they have the ovals and the rounds, and you know, I guess that's not all different sizes and shapes. It's 2 sizes, it's 2 shapes, but different size ovals and rounds. And then, you know, you just can use a scrap of fabric. The ones that came in the package that I got from Joann's actually had 14 count Aida, which for me, I'm going to use the smallest, highest fabric count that I'm comfortable with, because I can get a bigger picture. You know, if you use 14 count, then you're very limited. But anyway, I think it's a fun little thing. And I mean, if you do celebrate Christmas or have any kind of like ornament tree, for any holiday, I mean, these are great. You know, and then once they're glued, they're in there. See, so the back is solid because it has that extra piece. Okay, so whips this week. So last Sunday, as I said, was our Zoom, and normally, well, I work on a counting canvas piece, and I thought I was going to work on my country garden, which is this. I didn't. I may actually leave this out, and if I have sort of downtime during the game today, I might work on it. What I did instead, though, was I pulled that out, but in the bag that I have that in, I have several like big things on frames that I can't, you know, put in a little project bag. So I pulled this one out and started working on it, and sort of, you know, you start working on something and you think, oh, I'm just going to put in a couple stitches. So I was just going to put in a couple stitches until like the zoom started, and then I was going to work on the other one, and I got stuck into this. So I worked on my dogs and cats counted canvas piece. So this was something that I bought. It's a needlepoint like canvas. I bought it off of eBay, I think, originally. And with the intention of doing like counted canvas with it as opposed to just straight needlepoint. And I've talked about this in the past lots of times. I'm changing some of the animals. The biggest change is going to be that I'm turning this dog into a black and white cat. We'll see how well that goes. I'm going to use this, you know, kind of as a template of how, you know, size-wise. But a lot of the animals on here remind me of animals that have been in my life or are in my life. I mean, obviously this is like a baggie. This looks like Nala, who is my brother's, one of my brother's dogs now. This looks like Boo, who is their dog that they just had to have put down last year. This I'm going to also make black and white and turn it into Frodo, my dog that I had to have put down in 2019, who I still miss desperately. The reason I'm using this one instead of this one as far as black and white is because this shape is actually the exact right shape for Frodo. He just needs to be black and white because he was a Papillon. And then I also had a black and white cat, so that's why this one's turning into a cat. This cat looks like my cat Liberty Bell. And I think those are the only changes I'm making. When I was married, my husband had a corgi. So I love that dog, even though marriage didn't work out. This was a good doggy. So yeah. And then the other dogs are just gonna be just dogs. And then I'm using my Corone watercolors, which is a 3-strand cotton. You use 1 strand at a time. And I guess it's kind of like a pearl cotton, but it's a 3-strand twisted, and then you take the strands apart. But I just love how they look, the sheen of them. And then I'm just doing background patterns behind the dog. So this box and this box are completely finished. You can see, oh, and I'm using a pearl cotton for the needlepoint on the animals. This one just has a little bit of white left at the top. And then I started on the background on this one. Now, the one thing, some people who've never done needlepoint sometimes wonder if they see like needlepoint canvases, like why are they so expensive? Like needlepoint canvas can be $70, $80. And people don't understand why they're so expensive. And it's because those ones that are $70 or $80 are hand painted. And you would think, well, what difference does that make, it being hand painted? And here's the issue. This is not hand painted. This was like $10, right? And you can tell that it was printed very crappily on the canvas. So, which shows so much in this because it's these square blocks, right? So the horizontal edges of these boxes are on straight, but you can see that the vertical ones are not. So when I take this vertical line up, it's completely cockeyed. And so it makes it look crooked while I'm like working on it, but you know, obviously I'm following the lines of the canvas. So the stitched part is correct. The printed part is the part that's actually crooked. So, but I have checked, and it is gonna, you know, it's not gonna run off the edge of the canvas or anything. So anyway, so that's what I worked on last Sunday. Because I pulled it out, and I was just gonna finish the needlepoint part of this, and then I kind of got into doing a background, and yeah. And again, for those of you who are new, the reason that I work on counting canvas when I'm on a Zoom is because the glasses that I wear when I'm stitching, so I don't wear like special, I just wear reading glasses, and I have to pretty much wear reading glasses all the time anyway, but the reading glasses that I wear to read or to, you know, see the computer or whatever, like a two times glass, the ones that I use for stitching are 4 times. So when I have those stitching glasses on, I can't see the computer because they're too strong. So if I'm doing a Zoom and trying to stitch, I can't do both with the same glasses. So I end up having to either switch the glasses 1,000 times, or I can't see the computer screen, which makes me feel a little bit sick to my stomach. So anyway, counting canvas, I can see and stitch on comfortably with my regular reading glasses. So that's why I do counting canvas stuff when I'm on a Zoom, because I can. Okay. All right, moving on. I worked on my little autumn harvest pumpkin trio. I started this last month in October in honor of Laura Stitching at the Shores pumpkin birthday sal. And so that's what it will look like. And I put the white in, or actually it's a cream, but I put that in last night. I finished the stitching, I think, with the dark and the medium blue in that pumpkin. So it is so cute. It sometimes is a little bit harder for me to work on these smaller things, to hold them. It hurts my hand a little bit. In fact, when I was doing my little guys, these guys, I had to make sure I had a big enough piece of fabric so that I could actually put it in. I have like a little hoop like that, and it had to be in something that was at least that big so that I could hold it easier, because holding just that little, it makes my hands cramp up. And sometimes with this little piece of, I'm sorry, I balked you guys, this little piece of perforated paper, holding it to stitch on it can get a little bit uncomfortable in my hand. Okay, I worked on my Jardin Privé sampler au chat this week. So I think I'm gonna get this done this year. This is on my short list. So I got this little, I don't even know what that is. I think it's a like a lantern. I got that. This little row of design, whatever, the W, and then almost got most of the S done. So I did that whole little section. But I feel like I just don't have that much left to go, and if this is on my push to a finish list, that it will get done. So that is exciting. And then I got, as a gift, I got the cat lovers, which I've never actually done a Quaker. Same, I'd not really done a sampler, and I like the Jardin Privé cat sampler, and I've never really done a Quaker, and I love this Jardin Privé Quaker, so I'm thinking maybe I'll do this as a New Year, New Start, but I haven't really solidified that in my head at all. And if I do, though, I'm going to do it the same way as this. I'm going to do it on a 20 count Aida, and then I'm going to use Sulky, and I think I will simplify the colors, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to think, was this was all done in one color, so it was easy. Now, I have a question for you guys, anybody that's worked on this. This little cat, which is kind of coming up next, has this little thing hanging off of its tail. And I think it's supposed to be like a heart, but I don't get it. I don't understand what that is. If it's like got like an ornament hanging off its tail. Since I changed the colors of like the little bobble things like that and the cats, like I guess I'm gonna stitch that as a heart in like the rose color and the cat in the purple, but I don't get what that is. And of course, being a cat owner, you don't really want things hanging off your cat's tail because it's not usually something nice. So yeah, I don't know what that design element is supposed to be. So if any of you guys have an idea on that, let me know, please. Okay. I did work on Ashes this week, which is my second of the 4 Alley Cats patterns. Oh, that's the wrong one. Oh my goodness, I have all of them in the one bag, which just seems to cause me no amount of problems when I want to show you guys things. And today is no exception. There it is. There's my picture. Goodness. Okay. So I'm working on Ashes, which is the second in the Alley Cats. The first being that I did being Coal, which is, you can't see it now because I put this plant. It's behind that plant on my shelf. But anyway, I guess I didn't really need to pull out the picture since I finished the cat himself. So cat done. So now I just need to do the corners, finish this corner, put in that corner with the stitching, and then it's just the beading for the corners and the finishing, which I'm going to do the same way on a little black canvas. And then I have some furniture tacks, and so this will just wrap around. Oops. Yeah. Okay. Two more. All right, I worked on my black pearl this week. Again, she's on my short list to get finished this year, so I'm not really feverishly working on her, but okay. So I brought down part of the border, and then I worked on the tail. She's really pretty. And I realized, like, I guess I kind of mess up the whole idea of like the whole primitive thing because I change all the colors and then it's not really prim anymore. So I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing it a disservice, but I like it. I did it all in silks, or I'm doing it all in silks, changing the colors, and I feel like it's very me now. The other things I was considering as a new year, new start, I have three blackbird patterns. I'm not a big blackbird person because I'm not into the primitive stitching, and I know everybody talks about blackbird designs and that like with such reverence, and I feel guilty because I'm not like a huge fan. But the three patterns that I do have that are blackbird are the Beatles ones. I have the LSM Marine, I have Octopus's Garden, and I have Strawberry Fields. So I'm thinking of maybe doing one of those as a new year, new start, just because it's completely different. I'm sure I will pick all of my own threads and stuff. I'm not going to order threads for it. So I don't know. I'm thinking about that. What do you guys think? Okay. And then last but not least, I did work on my Glendon Place All Hallows Eve. I still haven't decided if this is going to be worked on anymore this year, to try and get it finished, or if I'm going to let it go back into the sleeping pile until next fall. Okay, so what did I work on? I did words. I did all of this. The 7 bats and a belfry was there already. But I did the 6 monsters and the 5 glowing. And then I started on the skeleton hand right there. I finished, was he finished last week? I don't know if he was finished or not, but I started back stitching him. So what is left is the skeleton, pumpkins, the pumpkins go down here, the skeleton and then the vulture go here, and then I have to put in the 5 wire stars, and my cat's upside down, and then a bunch more words. This the letters on this were, I guess, created specifically for this pattern, and they are really cool, and they're fun to do, actually. So that is where my All Hallows Eve is at. And again, I have no idea if I'm going to have the desire to stitch on this again in November, December. I mean, it is such a Halloween pattern that I don't know. And I don't really mind it hanging around, so we'll see. It will be a surprise to all of us if I work on that again this year. I think I definitely want to finish back stitching the vampire, even if I'm going to put it away for the rest, until next like September or whatever. I still need to finish back stitching the vampire because I don't want to forget. I don't want to think like, oh, I'm done, and then, get it to the point where it's like it's really done and I forgot to back stitch the vampire. So that definitely will get done. More back stitching on the vampire, but as far as doing the rest of it, I don't know. And that is it. That's all my whips for this week. As far as stash enhancement, I did get a tiny Mill Hill using my Amazon credit. So I have a credit card that gives me like 5% whatever, and then I just let it build up, and then I'll get fun stuff with it. So I talked before about, for February, I do my Be My Own Valentine Sal, which any of you who are thinking about maybe joining me, my sals or whatever are very loose. I mean, it's just a way to kind of stitch together and have a plan or whatever. So anything that has a bee on it, And there is a reason why I do it in February. And I will tell that story again when we get closer. But I had already talked the last couple weeks that I was going to do this little thing. Because it's like a new stitch. It's a velvet stitch is what it's called. And I thought, so this is more like a little embroidery guy. And I thought it would be fun to do that. But I also realized that this is pretty small. Now, it could end up being more elaborate than I think, but it also could be something that takes me, you know, one weekend day or one evening or something like that. So I thought that I should have something else as part of my Be My Own Valentine's Self for this coming year. So I got a little Mill Hill, another tiny one. Not that these don't take a while to do, because they're still like full, I mean, it's small, but it's still full coverage and beading and stuff like that. But I thought this one was really cute. So yeah, it's called Beehive House, and it's got 3 little bees on it and a little heart on the door. So that one's really cute. So that's going to be for February. I'm just looking because I have a couple other of these little Mill Hills, and I wanted to see if any of them also had a bee on them, but the ones I have don't. So yeah, that's about it as far as plans going forward this week. More of the same, you know, stitching on my flight to a finish stuff. I think definitely this week I want to at least one time work on the frog bouquet, because this definitely, I guess I left it in the little hoop. I want to get that done this year so it can go with the frog dancer that I did last year, and then I can get them fully finished. I mean, no guarantees on how long that will take, but so I definitely want to work on frog bouquet this week at least once. And I also want to work on my Cuddles and Caffeine piece, which I am doing for Stacy. This originally said this home, and I changed it to this mom, and then it says runs on Cuddles and Caffeine. So okay, so yeah, so that's the plans. It's just like more of the same. And I don't know if I will do another little guy. Maybe I will, because I really enjoyed these the last 2 weeks making these. And I do have my little ornament tree kind of thing, and I'm getting to the point where I think that I'm gonna have to set it up. Maybe I'm thinking about putting it here so you guys can see it like during the videos. And I'm just gonna hang stuff off of it that has nothing to do with seasons. I'm just gonna, if I have small ornaments or small things that I do, I'm gonna hang them just as a way to display them, because I realize like I have stuff that is put away for the season and it never comes out. So like I have a squirrel that I finished last year that is sitting in a box, and I had my raven that I did for Halloween that is still sitting there. That was my very first time working on even weave. So I'm just not good about like the whole decorating for the holidays thing. So I just need to pull out everything that I've done and have it displayed regardless of what season it's for. I think that that's going to make more sense for me. And since I have this little tree thing to hang stuff off of, I just need to hang all of the little things that I've made off of it so that I can see them. And not worry about if it's something that looks like it should go for Halloween or something that looks like it should be for Thanksgiving or for Valentine's Day. It doesn't matter. They're all little creations, right? So I think that's about it. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope you are having nice weather. Are you getting together Thanksgiving plans? My Thanksgiving plans, I did get a couple invitations, but honestly, I am looking forward to staying at home, having a 4-day weekend, cooking the food that I like in very small quantities, which will be challenging, but could be kind of fun. I actually got a turkey breast to roast in my toaster oven. And then I'm just gonna make stuffing, which I don't mind having leftovers. And my friend at work, I think I mentioned before that I work for Filipino people, and their Thanksgiving, they don't eat Thanksgiving food because they didn't grow up with it. They don't like it. They have completely different things. But the one thing that she really loves is my stuffing. So I always promise I'll bring her some after Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna make a batch of stuffing or dressing, I guess, because it's not actually getting stuffed in the bird because I don't have a bird to stuff it in. I'm just doing a breast, and then I have a couple yams that I like roasted yams better than any other yam thing anyway. I just like them baked. When I ordered groceries, because I figured like most of the stuff I got went in the freezer, and then the few things that are not freezers, like the yams, and those will last for a couple weeks. But I wanted like 4 small yams, right? And I ordered it, and I got 1 small yam and 1 humongous yam. So I don't know that I can even bake that. I'm gonna have to cut it up in cubes or something like that and cook it a different way, because it's like giant. It's like so I guess they just went by poundage, you know, instead of giving me 4 decent sized little yams that I could eat. Got me a huge one. And then I got some frozen green beans, and I got some almonds to put on it because I think that's really yummy. And then, you know, a can of cranberry sauce, and I'll make a little bit of cranberry relish, and then I'm good. And then I'll have sandwiches all weekend because the turkey breast, 2 pounds of roasted turkey breast should last me a while, and can go into a soup after. So, I should get some wild rice. That would be good, huh? Turkey and wild rice soup. Yeah, that would be good. Okay, so anyway, and it seems like I'm talking about Thanksgiving way early, but really it's not that far away. It's like in 20 days. So yeah, it's not that far away. So more of the same as far as stitching, and I hope you guys are having a good week. And put on calendars Thanksgiving weekend if you are in America. If you're not in America, then just the weekend of the 26th on Sunday. We will be having another Zoom. And until I see you again, please remember to be content, be kind, and be crafty. This is Carla. Bye-bye.